claim that some of these people belong to the Trinamool Congress. I don't want to go down that road. We do not know who these people are. But we've seen the sequence of events. Central agencies not being allowed, the CBI not being allowed, the ED not being allowed, the Chief Minister not taking the Prime Minister's phone call for cyclone relief. Is Mamta Banrjee betraying her nervousness, or is she championing what the media started calling Bengali sub-nationalism?
Well, she is certainly championing the Bengali sense of wound in the way that the left did for generations before she took over from them in 2011. But I think the grudge match of this election is between Narendra Modi and Mamta Banrjee. They're both really formidable campaigners and politicians. On all this stuff going to and fro about Rosgolas and tight slaps, it's hugely entertaining. Mamta Banrjee is impetuous. Clearly, it seems to me that she, as Chief Minister, should take a phone call from the Prime Minister to discuss cyclone relief. But nevertheless, she is her own person. The video that I hadn't seen this video before. At first glance, if it's as described, it's clearly concerning. But I also remember elections which I covered in, a long time ago, but in the 1990s, when there was vast booth capturing, where dozens were killed in rival clashes between rival party supporters on polling day, and the Election Commission has just about squeezed that out of Indian politics. And Indian politics is the better for that. Indeed it is. Walter Anderson, a very disturbing video this, and while we look at what it means for the fairness of an election, we also have to focus on how critical West Bengal is. Is the Tigress of Bengal feeling cornered?
Well, West Bengal clearly is important because of the number of seats, and particularly for the BJP, because it represents a chance to pick up seats it's likely to lose, and Uttar Pradesh and a few other places. Now, as to these videos and the incidents that they report, this would be very dangerous, I think, particularly for Mamta Banrjee, if it was proved that the TMC was behind this, because I think there are a few things that arouse Indian voters negatively as much as corruption, particular corruption at the workplace. We've seen that in the U.S., where for the last 2 years the U.S. has been consumed by the issue of potential corruption at the workplace. And this could well happen in India, and to the detriment, I would think, of the West Bengal government, if in fact the TMC was shown to have been behind this. And you can be sure that if the BJP comes to power again, it's going to focus on what happened, or, a direct, to the extent that it can, the courts to look at what happened in this case. I think the Indian press is also going to focus, as your questions suggest, and I think that that's a good thing to do, is fact. But in fact, the Indian vote is relatively honest. There have been, polls, there have been studies that have been made after the last several elections that indicate that by and large the Indian elections were fairly carried out with a few exceptions. This may prove to be, however, a major exception. Now, Mamta Banrjee has proved to be a flexible figure in the past, depending on how she reacts after the elections are over. Will she try to make up with the Prime Minister? My guess is yes, because if the BJP wins and Modi becomes the Prime Minister, these various regional leaders, in a sense, have to get along with the government to get the kinds of programs they want. So my guess is that you would have, a change in mood between them. And that's true for the other regional leaders as well.
I think, yes, Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav, who may be pitted against each other in less than 3 years from now. But yesterday we also listed 5